Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Football Fignuts podcast. This is season 5, episode 2. If you counted all of them, it's 196 episodes of goodness. I'm Craig.
I'm Britt.
And Britt, we're back for our running back extravaganza.
Can I just tell you that these are my favorite episodes of the year?
Are they?
Because I don't have to spend like 3 hours before I start work on a Wednesday or Thursday morning poring over numbers. I gather all the numbers from you, I put it into a spreadsheet, and then we argue about it. It is my favorite time of year to discuss our rankings.
Nice. That's a good thing.
And yes, we are here to talk about running backs. We had big news just yesterday for the first time. In 196 episodes of this podcast, breaking news came before we recorded something about it.
That is so rare.
Go back in our history. If we spend 30 minutes talking about Zeke Elliott and he's going to get hurt, it's the day after we record. Every single time.
Mm-hmm.
If we record on July 6th, he gets hurt on July 7th. It never fails. There have been instances where Craig and I have wrapped up a recording and I go sit on the couch, pop open a secondary beer, and I get a text from one of our contributors telling me something happened that we literally just talked about. And the only question when that happens is which one of us is going to respond with curse words first. Because they don't hear it, unless they're on it, they don't hear it until you guys hear it most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So only Craig and I will know when those moments happen. And yes, it infuriates us. But we should start where we always start.
We should.
Craig, what are you drinking tonight?
So last week, you may or may not remember because I was drinking, but
I was off last week.
Yeah. You mentioned that we should try a new beer every week, and I'm going to start to.
Okay, so let's be clear.
Yeah.
I said we should make a goal to try 50 new beers over the course of the season, and that's between the two of us.
Okay.
I don't want anybody listening to this and thinking I'm forcing Craig. Craig gets up, oh God, I feel sick as a dog. My doctor says I have the flu. He put me on this antiviral, but Britt told me I got to drink tonight. I don't want anybody getting that impression right now. But okay, so tell me, what do you got?
So tonight I have a beer from Medusa Brewing called Light Runner Hazy IPA. It has a very 80s Miami Vice feel to the can art.
Okay. You gave me one of these, didn't you?
I did.
I think I drank this already. Go on.
So this says intense stone fruit ester mingle perfectly with a beautiful blend of tropical fruit, tangerine notes provided by Mosaic and Armadillo hops.
Yes, I did drink this.
All right.
Didn't like
I already opened it, so
go for it.
No, it
I'll tell you right now, I didn't like it. It was interesting. It was unique for an IPA. It wasn't overly hoppy or dry, but the flavors just weren't appealing to me personally.
Wow, this is very, very tangerine.
That might be why. You know what? Because not only did I not get the dryness that some people love and some people hate the back end of the IPA, I didn't get any hoppiness at all, and I think that's because the tangerine overpowered it.
Yeah, because I think most of the ones we've had, they're very like orange-based or grapefruit maybe. But this,
there's a lot of grapefruit. This
is very tangerine, and tangerine has its own distinct flavor compared to oranges. So
yeah, I didn't personally care for it. It wasn't bad. It was very unique, but it just wasn't something I would drink a lot of. I did open a can of something you gave me though.
Okay.
I have Premier Double Dry Hopped IPA by Interborough Spirits and Ales. I'm guessing Premier is the name of this. It's got a 397 on Untapped. It's out of Brooklyn. And that's about all I can tell you about it because it's a very basic can. So let's give this guy a try here. I poured it, but I haven't tried it yet.
Nice. Here we go. And then
Decent
really quick.
Light penetration.
Like you can see through it?
Yeah, I'm getting decent light through it. It's not
All right.
dank.
All
It's
right.
not dank at all. I would put it probably in light penetration in the same category as any of the Two Roads basic IPAs. It's probably a little lighter in color than Road to Ruin, but it's probably on par with Honey Spot.
Okay.
All right. Ooh,
Ooh.
I'm waiting for the I'm waiting for the
Ooh.
I'm waiting for the back end.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
Uh-oh. It showed up, kicked the door in.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh,
Ooh.
there's a third wave.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so it tastes like a very straightforward IPA up front. It's
Mm.
not overly hoppy. If you handed this to me and said, "What is this?" and I sipped, I would tell you this is an IPA. Oh man, there's a fourth wave of dryness. Wow, that is really overpowering dryness. I just wasn't ready for it. So the first wave, you're like, all right, this is an IPA. Then after the IPA was done, that's when the hop flavor came in. I got a lot of hops after, it started to wash over me. And then after the hops, I got almost like this really light tropical fruity flavor. Not very powerful, but
Mm-hmm.
just enough that I could notice it as the hops finished. And then it dried out. The
Interesting.
best way I could describe it in analogies as I like to do, do you remember when you were younger there was a Cat in the Hat 30-minute special where the Cat in the Hat shows up, wreaks havoc,
Yep.
it was a little animated special. So I'm sure everyone's familiar with the Cat in the Hat, but in the special, which I believe followed the book, the cat shows up, then Thing 1 and Thing 2 show up, mayhem ensues, and then at the end of it, the Cat in the Hat uses some fantastical device to repair everything he's broken and clean the place so the parents never know what happened. That's what just happened. The cat arriving was like the sip of the IPA, like the taste of IPA. Thing 1 and 2 show up, and I get that hoppy flavor. Then the three of them together with the kids go nuts. That was kind of like the light tropical, and then at the very end was the dryness, was the cat cleaning up. So to me, it was just kind of like very formulaic in terms of how it washed over me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not bad. It's
Oh,
a
good.
397 on Untapped. I'll probably
Good.
give it a 375.
Nice. Nice.
But enough. We have to move on to other things because there's so much to talk about tonight. Let's get right into burning hot takes. Receive.
I'll receive because I know. You know what? I'll give
Yeah,
because
let's
I
have it.
have a question and then I have a rant.
Okay. So
So
what do you want to start with?
I'll go with the question.
All right.
Let me where did Oh, internet. Sorry, the page I had up just went away. Give me 1 second here.
While he's doing that, just so you guys know, we want to send our warmest wishes out to Greg Knapp and his family. Greg Knapp is an NFL coach for the New York Jets. He was recently in a biking accident, and depending on who you listen to, it was very serious. TMZ
Yeah.
says he is literally fighting for his life. ESPN has described the injuries as life-threatening. So we wish him the best. We hope he recovers because the Jets need all the help they can get. And obviously, our thoughts are with his family at this time. So with that
Yeah,
out of the
it's
way,
not
did you
a
find what you were looking
I
for?
did. I did. Yeah,
What do you got?
definitely not a good situation. Okay.
No,
So Jerry Jones of the Jerry Jones Cowboys,
presented by Jerry Jones.
he said that he would do anything to get back to the Super Bowl. In your opinion, do you think Jerry Jones will see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl again in his
No,
lifetime?
no, because Jerry Jones is convinced that the reason the Cowboys made the Super Bowl is because of Jerry Jones, and it's not true.
Hmm.
Jerry Jones has it in his head that he is this amazing draft wizard who created what the Cowboys were when Troy Aikman and everybody was there. And it's just not accurate. So, because of that, no, I don't think Jerry Jones will ever see his team play in the Super Bowl again. I think and he will never admit that. He will never admit that Jimmy Johnson is the real reason he had Super Bowls to begin with. Well, but he brought in another coach after Yeah, that's true. He brought in a coach after the team had been coached to the point where a monkey could have coached them to a Super Bowl. When he
That was
brought in
Barry
Barry Switzer.
Switzer, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not knocking Barry Switzer, but Barry Switzer doesn't win a Super Bowl with that lineup if Jimmy Johnson doesn't have it first.
Did Barry
You know,
Switzer win a Super Bowl with them?
yeah, the year after Johnson left, they won like 3 and 4 years.
Oh, see, my brain that it was all with Johnson.
No, Johnson only won 1 or 2 titles there, and then there was the big publicized breakup, and then Switzer went
Yep.
in, and then he won a title, and then it all went downhill because as they started adding new pieces to the mix, because you can't just keep in the modern NFL, you can't keep the same 12 guys around forever,
Mm-hmm.
you know. As they started to move more pieces in and whatnot, it started to fall apart because Switzer was a game manager. He was not a developer of talent. That's why Jimmy Johnson was so successful. Jimmy Johnson helped develop that team. You think
Yeah.
Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, and Troy Aikman all did that in a vacuum? I don't.
Nope. No, you're
So
right. Yeah, I don't.
so
I
I
don't
say
think
no.
so either. I don't think he. Man, how old is he now? Let's see, Jerry
Oh,
Jones.
150 years old. He's somewhere in Emperor Palpatine range.
He's 78, born 1942. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Dallas will get back to the Super Bowl. That's a
Yeah,
tough
I don't
call.
think he will. I don't think he will. All right, so my question.
Yeah.
Obviously, the big news we alluded to, Cam Akers is likely done for 2021. When I say
Hmm.
likely, I mean it's just because I know that they're looking for a second opinion, like they should.
But he tore his
But it looks
Achilles.
like it
Yeah.
looks like his Achilles is fully torn and he is out. Not talking about rankings here, but simple question without name dropping anyone currently on the Rams, because obviously we're going to talk about rankings in a second.
Hmm.
Should the Rams go out and try to trade for somebody, or should they just rely on the talent they already have?
After that huge trade they did to switch quarterbacks, I don't know if they can trade for someone.
It's a good point.
Like, I don't. Do they sign a free agent? Do they try? I don't think they can get Gurley back.
Well,
And then
Gurley's still out there as free agency. So is Duke
who's
Johnson,
so and Adrian Peterson, if he still
AP.
wants to play.
There's rumors that they may be in talks to acquire Benny Snell, because we all know the Steelers are not sold on keeping Snell making up the roster.
Hmm.
So I think you roll with what you got. You brought in 2 rookies. You brought in Xavier Jones and Jake Funk, right?
Hmm.
I could not tell you anything about them. I know our contributor Sean was big on Xavier Jones. I know he was big on Xavier Jones, and to the point where in the Scott Fish Bowl, which just wrapped up yesterday for us, Jake Funk went ahead of Xavier Jones, and I thought Sean was going to throw something across the room in like just mock outrage, because he was like, Xavier Jones is the 2 now. Henderson's going to be the 1. Xavier Jones is the 2. Why would you take Jake Funk? And I'm like, I think he felt like somebody knew something that he didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but
because
he was
I
very
have to
unhappy with it.
say, the years have been doing this. This year, Sean has been the most focused on drafts and mock drafts than any of us.
He always is, but you know what it is? As he's been doing this more and more, he's looked more and deeper and deeper and deeper into drafts.
Hmm.
Sean used to be one of those guys, and you know this. He'd buy 5 or 6 magazines.
Yep.
He'd read them all, and he'd pick out the one that had the cheat sheet that met his expectations the most. He'd bring that to a draft.
And then
That's
he
how he
would
operated.
reread the magazine while he was drafting.
Usually. I think this is his response to saying, I'm tired of, I've been doing this long enough. I contribute to a podcast now. While we don't consider ourselves experts by any stretch of the imagination, we are
Right.
experienced players. I'm experienced enough to not have to rely on crap. I need a running back in round 12, and I don't know any of these names. He's reached that point where he wants to know the names. So he has started really diving deep. Who are these guys that might come out of nowhere? Who's a rookie that people are talking about? Those kinds of things is really where he's essentially our scouting coordinator. And that's where he is. And so I appreciate that, because he really did help us down the line in Scott Fishbowl. A couple of our really late draft picks were because he put the name on the table. I'm looking for the one guy. There was a wide receiver. He was like, go get this guy. Amon-Ra St. Brown
Oh yeah, that's right. He did mention
in
him.
Detroit. He's the number 3 in Detroit. He's a rookie. There's tremendous upside around him. We got him in the 16th round.
Did we?
16th
Wow.
round. Yep. We got him before we had to go get Van Jefferson. We got Van Jefferson 10 wideouts later in round 18. And Van Jefferson's the number 2 number 3 technically behind Woods and Cup. He's the number 2 behind Woods. But he's probably going to be out there in most of the 3 wideout sets for the Rams this year. And he was the one who was like, you know what, get Brown first. Get St. Brown first. And so, I really appreciate that. Now, even if he's right or wrong, it doesn't make a difference. Looking at our lineup now, we're pretty all in on a bunch of Rams.
we are.
We drafted Darrell Henderson.
Wait, don't tell Cinch. She'll get upset.
Oh, I know. Cinch has no faith in the Rams. But we ended up with Darrell Henderson. We ended up with Xavier Jones. We ended up with Van Jefferson. If the Rams are good this year, we should win this league. So, anyway, all right. What's your rant? Let's go to your rant.
Okay, we're going back.
Drink beer.
We're going back to the Cowboys. All right.
Oh boy, why?
Because this is what involves a rant. Do you remember? Was it 3 seasons ago? The whole thing with David Johnson jumping out of a pool.
Oh God, yeah.
Remember that? And we were like,
the argument we had on Twitter with some dude who was like, "This is proof that David Johnson's completely healed. He jumped out of a pool." And I thought Craig was going to reach through the screen and strangle this guy. Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so with stuff like that, rehab, it's great, but it's not you on the field, right? So to me, that doesn't prove that you're back to how you were.
Yeah.
Okay. So this week, we know last year Zeke had a horrible year, right? He averaged 4 yards rushing. I think it was the lowest in his career so far. He had 6 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving touchdowns, and he was under 1,000 yards rushing. Okay.
Yeah. What did he have last year? I'm looking it up right now.
979.
Yep. Wow, that's a huge drop off. That's actually his worst year as a pro, and he played 15 games. He rushed for more yards in 2017 when he only played 10 games than he did in this year when he played 15.
Yep.
Wow. All right.
So I think he put it on Instagram, possibly. It's a picture of him on a field. He is shirtless, and he's clearly in phenomenal shape, and he's all jacked, right? And people are like, oh my God, Zeke is back. No.
Nope.
No. Okay? You can be in amazing shape and still have a god-awful year being a running back in the NFL.
For reference, please see James Conner.
Exactly. Or look, if you go back, look at how Jerome Bettis' physique was. He ran over people, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the thing to me. What's that?
The bus with no brakes.
Exactly. He was a wrecking ball.
Yep.
So here's my thing. I just want people to not get excited because he posted a picture of himself in amazing, amazing shape that has nothing to do with how his fantasy stats are going to be. They are not connected in any way at all.
People, and this goes back to the rant we had last week, where or a couple weeks ago, mini camps don't matter. That whole rant about, there's some people sitting there saying, Byron Pringle's getting the majority of snaps. Byron Pringle's going to be the new number 2. Stop it. Stop it. That's not, don't overreact to off-season news. You know what news you react to in the offseason? Injury news. That's it.
Yes.
React to the fact that Cam Akers is done. Don't react to a picture of Zeke on Instagram. We did this literally a year ago. James Conner working out. Had somebody take a picture of him flexing his back, and the freaking internet went nuts.
And
James
how was
Conner
his
isn't
year?
a Steeler anymore. He's not a Steeler anymore.
No, where is he? Cardinals? I think it's the Cardinals.
I don't even know. That's you would think I would know these things, being like a football commentator. Oh yeah, he's a Cardinal.
Cardinals.
He's a Cardinal. Yeah, because I remember like a week or two ago, I was like, "When did Connor become a Cardinal?" I totally forgot.
Last year Connor had He played 13 games. He started 11. He had
Yep.
721 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns.
Yep.
So, yep. So just a reminder.
And they sent him away.
Exactly. Physique and how you play have nothing to do with each other at all. None.
And can I just for the record there, his numbers were better in 2020 per attempt than they were in 2019, and they still sent him away.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had that really good year in 2018. Now he only played 10 games. Okay, but his yards per attempt were up from 4 to 4.3. His attempts per game were up from 11.6 to 13. His yards per game were up from 46.4 to 55.5. His total receptions were up. The only thing that was down was his yardage and his touchdowns.
And
That's
he's not a Steeler anymore.
And he's not a Steeler anymore. Well, he was hurt in 2019, but he still started 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
And so totals you can criticize. But in 11 games last year, he was better than he was in 10 games of 2019, and the Steelers still said this is not the direction we want to go. After he had even posted his fancy back in the gym. Listen, I think personally, and we're going to get into this in about literally 13 seconds, I went down on Zeke this year. Most of us did. No one more so than Craig, by the way. Spoiler alert, Craig is going to ruin the average in our composite rankings.
Yep.
I don't know that Zeke is going to recover from COVID. That being said, well, I had it over a year ago. Okay, that's fine. But we're learning now that there are long-term effects on the lungs and the brain that matter. A nurse in Texas who was a decided anti-vaxxer, she was a nurse, by the way, in an emergency room in Texas, and she was anti-vaccine. Let that sink in for a second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She was anti-vaccine. She gets COVID.
Mm-hmm.
She recovers from COVID. 3 months later, she's dead.
What? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, 23-year-old nurse. It was in Texas. I actually posted, after I confirmed the story's authenticity, I posted about it on Facebook. She didn't die from COVID. She died from what COVID did to her body months after. Well,
That's
it's been a
crazy.
year for Zeke. Okay, that's great. We still don't know the long-term effects of this disease. So, I am kind of nervous about Zeke. I am probably going to pass on him. As of this moment, in the 5 or 6 drafts I've already done this year, I have 0 shares of Zeke. 0.
Yeah, I remember. What was it? The Dynasty draft? Didn't we draft Zeke?
And we traded him.
Yes, right, we did.
And we traded him. Some guy wrote us about a month later. We were excited when we drafted him. That was 2018.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2018. We were excited when we drafted him because we had like the 3rd overall pick or something like that. We got in a dynasty startup and we grabbed him and we were excited. And then the first chance we got to move him, we did.
We did.
And it wasn't a very good trade. We
needed a quarterback. Is that why? Is that why we traded him?
I think the guy sent us Rodgers and Flacco. Again, 2018. Flacco was still a starter then. He sent us Flacco. You know what it is? He sent us Flacco and Darnold. Is what it is. He sent us Flacco, yeah. Darnold, and like 2 other pieces. By the way, one of which I believe was Darrell Henderson.
Oh, good.
Maybe not. Maybe Darrell Henderson, but maybe he wasn't a rookie then. Anyway, we have Darrell Henderson now. But all right, enough of Craig's ranting. Yes, I'm avoiding Zeke. That funnels us nicely into the 2021 rankings. Let's go right into where the guys have everybody. This segment is brought to you by Craig being Craig. So we're going to start with our consensus number 1, Christian McCaffrey. I have him at number 1. Mm-hmm. Cinch has him at number 1. Mm-hmm. Sean has him at number 1. Mm-hmm. And Craig does not. Mm-mm. So Craig has him at 2, right? No. Mm-mm. He has him at 3, obviously. Nope. Mm-mm. Craig has Christian McCaffrey at 4. 4.
Like
between 3 and 5. Mm-hmm. 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like the thing you scream at a golfer because you just hit a ball into the trees.
Yep.
4.
Mm-hmm.
As in a number that's fantastic, as in a number that makes a quartet, and as a number that you probably see if you go to a barbershop and they're singing. 4.
And my
All right,
birthday.
Craig,
My birthday's
30
4.
seconds to defend your position. How in the holy hell do you have McCaffrey at 4?
Serious injury, missed the entire season. New quarterback, new coach. Quarterback he's never played with, and a coach he's never coached with. Played with.
He's a running back, though. Are you really worried about his receiving?
I'm
I mean, I
worried
know
about.
receiving's a
I'm
big part of his
worried.
game. He had over 100 in
I'm
2018 and 2019, but
I'm worried about his his post-injury endurance and how worried the new coach is going to be and how they're going to use him.
even
That
if
is
they use
my
him
concern.
sparingly, he's still the best running back in the league fantasy-wise.
I don't know. That's my concern with him.
In 2019 was over 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm. He was.
Had a combined 19 touchdowns. Hell, in the 3 games he played last year, he had 6 touchdowns, 5 on the ground.
Yep. And then he broke. Well, here's the thing too. His running style is he would do insane moves. He would jump over people. He would stiff arm people. He was pretty much like a acrobat on the field. Now he missed an entire season. That doesn't go away from the back of your head. You know?
I kind of like the fact that he's missed all this time. He only played 3 games last year. I think it's given him a lot of time to recoup and recover from the injury. Trust me, the injury's worrisome, but not to the point that I'm going to pass on him if he's there in the first round. So, all right. So Craig is insane already. These rankings are already off of the rails here.
And that's
right?
why it's interesting.
Right. Number 2, we have consensus Dalvin Cook. Breaking news and shocker, Craig is the only one who doesn't have Dalvin Cook at number 2. He has him at number 3.
I do.
The person he has at number 2 is our consensus number 3, which is Derrick Henry. So we have McCaffrey, Cook, Henry. Craig has nothing like that. No. Craig actually has it in the opposite order, with Henry followed by Cook, followed by McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Craig, why should people take Derrick Henry over Dalvin Cook?
Because Dalvin Cook is a walking insurance claim.
Didn't he play the whole season last year?
I don't think he started every game last year, did he?
14 games. He played in 14 games last year. He had 1,500 yards.
I don't know. The fact that we were, at one point with Cook, we were so concerned about having Matson as a handcuff with him that, I don't know. I just can't. I can't get behind him being 2.
One of the games he missed last year was week 17, and presumably that's because there was no reason for him to play.
Yeah.
I mean, he did miss the game against Atlanta in week 6, which is a game Atlanta actually won. Shocking.
Poor Atlanta.
But, I mean, they were 6-8 with him, and they were 1-1 without him. And the one game they won without him was the last game of the year at Detroit, 37-35, where nobody gave a shit what happened.
Poor Detroit.
But, I mean, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games over 100 yards out of 14. That's really high. He had a 206-yard effort against Detroit the first time he played them. The only reason this team actually played well was mainly because of him. We can't give Cousins any credit for anything.
I don't know. See, what's that phrase about past performance?
Past performance is the best indicator of future potential.
No, that's not. I don't think that's how it goes.
That's exactly how it goes.
Is it? I don't think that's how it goes. Let me see. I'm going to look that up right now.
Past performance is the best indicator of future potential. At least that's what we use in psychology.
Past performance is no guarantee of future results.
This is fantasy football. There's no guarantee on any of these guys in the top 10.
That is true.
Trip on their cat tomorrow,
true
fall through a glass coffee table, and as they scream in pain, a dog could vomit into their mouth, and they're out for a year. I mean,
That
Freaking
is,
Cam Akers. How did he tear his ACL?
you know
Has
what?
anybody heard how?
I don't think they said because it wasn't camp related. It was like outside of football, and I hope to God for him he wasn't like playing basketball or riding a motorcycle because that is probably in his contract to not do.
Training.
Hmm,
He was training.
that's pretty. That's a generic term though.
Yeah. Was he on his Peloton? Was he benching large amounts of weights? We have no idea.
Right.
We have no idea. He could be walking through a goddamn Planet Fitness and slipped on some water in the bathroom. We have no idea.
He could have.
Have you ever been near the Planet Fitness where Craig and I used to live? There was water on the floor constantly.
Yes, there was. There
Like,
probably
I don't
still is.
understand why they had that little tent sign that said "slippery when wet" or "be careful, wet floor." I don't understand why they just didn't bolt it to the floor because it was always wet. Always wet. I once walked in there and there was a guy mopping up, and I went out and did my workout. When I came back, there was nobody else in the gym, so I knew nobody had used the showers, and it was still wet. So, anyway, so I worry. And you're higher on Derrick Henry than Cook or McCaffrey. What makes you think that Henry's going to perform?
Because Henry's, other than Julio Jones, Henry's on the same team. His running style is the same, and he's just going to run over people. I don't think Julio Jones is going to have any effect on Derrick Henry's stats.
Oh, I think he does.
Does he?
I think he cuts
Looking
it.
at how Julio Jones was the last like 3 years in Atlanta, do you really think it's going to, with the quarterback they have, do you think it's really going to matter for Derrick Henry?
Yes. I think
see, I don't see
Henry's
that.
targets declined significantly. He only had 31 targets last year in 16 games. He played all 16 games. He only had 31 targets. But those 31 targets amounted to 114 yards receiving. And where's the touchdown number? No touchdowns. Okay. If they don't have to check down to Henry, that's all lost points.
Yeah, but receiving was never really Henry's thing to begin with.
That's right, but it's still going to cut into his numbers. He had 2,000 yards rushing. That's where his value is going to be. I think Henry takes a step back this year. Now you can make the argument. I didn't do the voice because I've already used it like 6 times this episode already, so I'm not going to do the voice. The crazy voice.
About Blake Bortles' voice?
No, that's completely different. This is the voice we use when we talk about Blake Bortles. This is the voice we talk about when somebody says something stupid. It's different.
True.
Okay. Where the arrival of Julio Jones helps him is that they can't stack the boxes readily.
Right.
I don't think A.J. Brown is that great of a receiver, but when you stack the box, A.J. Brown has one-on-one coverage. He's going to get open. Just because I don't think he's like Hall of Fame material doesn't mean he's not a pro. He's an absolute pro. He will find a way to get open. And that's where I think that's what it is. So now you got Julio. Now you got 2 threats in the secondary. You have to respect the run, but you also have to respect the play action. So I think his rushing totals go up, his receiving numbers take a dive, and I don't think he provides any additional fantasy value this year. Because if you're in a PPR of any way, shape, or form, those receiving yards and those receiving touches matter. And, okay, well, hey, how many times did he have 100 yards? Never. He never had 100 yards receiving last year. But he had 52. He had 2 catches for 52 one game. He had 3 catches for 15. That's 4.5 points. He had, I'm looking for more data here. 3 for 15. Okay, it's mostly small. They don't use him a lot in the passing game. I get it. But it's those targets do matter. I do think that they still matter, as few as they are. All right. So anyway, we're running so far behind. It's fine. McCaffrey, Cook, and Henry is our top 3, even though Craig disagrees. Our number 4 is Craig's number 1. So I'm going to give him one more chance to defend himself here, because our number 4 is Alvin Kamara. Aside from the fact that Craig is a total Alvin Kamara hack. Has been since the day the man stepped on the field. Give me, and I'm going to give you a full 30 seconds uninterrupted to do this.
Okay.
Why should people draft Alvin Kamara over any of the guys we've already discussed?
Okay. same coach, same team, different quarterback, but he's going to be playing with a quarterback who he's played with before. And I don't think that's really going to affect Kamara's performance or outcome because their offense is essentially going to be the same, right? They're going to have Taysom Hill, who has played with Kamara before in games, and to me, there's no difference that is going to happen with his outcome or his performance due to Taysom Hill being the quarterback. Now you're going to say, if you're Cinch, he's listening to this and he just threw some mail out of his truck.
Yeah, I hope he's not driving.
He's going to say, well, it's not Drew Brees. But
that's what I was about to say.
Okay, fine, but how far was Drew Brees throwing to Alvin Kamara? He was only
accuracy is what matters.
You're saying really you don't believe in Taysom Hill.
I'm saying that Drew Brees' accuracy cannot be compared to Taysom Hill's accuracy.
All right, that's fair. But if you're only throwing 10 or 15 yards, how accurate do you have to be? Look at Lamar.
On those flat outs, when you throw the running back screens, you have to be deadly accurate because otherwise a cornerback reads it, breaks on it early, and then all of a sudden it's 6 the other way. Now, before Brees was smart enough to see, and I don't have any film to back up this claim.
Okay, so I see that, but I would say that's more experience than accuracy in that situation.
He got targeted last year 107 times. He had 83 catches for 756 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's 9.1 per reception. Okay. Are you telling me that number stays at 83 for 756 and 5 touchdowns with Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston?
Maybe not Winston, but Taysom Hill, it's close.
I don't think it's anywhere near. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
Put it down. Write it down in the books. Right now.
We're ready.
July 21st, 2021. Alvin Kamara catches 50 or fewer passes this year.
Okay. All
right. That's
a
33% reduction. 50 passes max. And in a full point PPR with just receptions alone, that's an average of 2 points per game lower. Now take the yardage out of it. That's another 2 points. That is 4 points per game lower than what we were used to with the old Alvin Kamara. There it is. And that's why I can't have him at 1.
Fair enough.
So we got McCaffrey into Cook to Henry to Kamara. Jonathan Taylor's our number 5. We're all pretty much of the same mind. I'm higher than everybody else on this. I think Indy has a real chance to take a step forward. They have a quarterback now who is not getting ready to retire.
That is true.
Did not walk through
Very
the door.
True.
The problem is, again, the same problem they have with Phillip Rivers are going to have with Carson Wentz. Can they keep him on the field? The difference with Phillip Rivers was old. Carson Wentz is made of glass. But it's the same issue. At number 6 overall, we have Saquon Barkley. Sean is big on Barkley this year. We are not. He has him as high as 5, but we're all in pretty much agreement that he's around the 6th best. Number 7 is where we have Zeke. We have Zeke behind all those other guys. Craig has him actually at the 12th best person on the board. I've got him at 5th. I'm thinking I may have rated him a little too high, but even still. Number 8 is Aaron Jones. I'm starting to fly now because I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, holy shit. Normally I judge how long these podcasts go by how much beer I've had, and I'm still on my first beer. So number 8 is Aaron Jones. We're all pretty middle of the road on Aaron Jones. Craig is a little higher. Number 9 was Cam Akers. Obviously, we all heard the news. Cam Akers is out for the year, so Cam Akers is now officially out of our rankings. But what I want to ask about this is, obviously, we can't plug Darrell Henderson into that spot, right?
No, we cannot.
We don't even have him in our top 33.
Yeah, because Cam Akers was there, so why would...
Because Cam Akers was there. All right, so I can't even ask the question of how much does this raise Darrell Henderson?
I think
Cam
it puts
Akers
it...
being... Go ahead.
I would say it puts him in the top 25.
Makes him as high as a potential RB2.
Yes.
You figure there's 12 teams per league, and everybody's got to start at least 2 running backs. that's 24 running backs. That roughly puts him in an RB2 role.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. So our new number 10 is Austin Eckler. I have zero faith in Austin Eckler. I am the only one who rated Austin Eckler outside of RB1. Craig has him all the way at number 7. Again, proving why Craig is insane. Craig, why is Austin Eckler higher on your list than guys like Zeke? It's still Austin Eckler. You have him higher than Saquon.
I do, because A, injury with Saquon, and B, the Giants, right?
But Jonathan Taylor, you have him above Jonathan Taylor.
I really...
You really think Taylor's better than Eckler?
Do I think Taylor's better than Eckler?
Yeah.
I would say they're almost the same running back.
Okay. Then I can't argue to put them next to each other. All right, so number 9 is Austin Eckler. Number 10 is going to be Nick Chubb. Sean is big on Chubb this year. He's all right. Number 11 is Joe Mixon.
That's right. Get on the damn train. Get your tickets,
is another guy
get your popcorn, and let's go.
I have Mixon at 14th. I am a big Mixon guy. I still have him at 14th. Cinch has him at 13th. Sean has him at 12. Craig has him at 6.
That's right. We're back.
Craig has him over Nick Chubb, over Austin Eckler, over Jonathan Taylor. Craig is either a genius or insane, and it's possible he's both. So
the line's very thin. It's very thin.
Yeah. 13th, we have Antonio Gibson. I just think they're going to lean on him a lot this year. 14, we have whoa, why are these numbers okay. My numbers are out of order. I'm seeing here right now. The rankings are correct, but the numbers are askew. So Antonio Gibson is number 12. Mixon is 11. Gibson is 12. 13 is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm actually starting to cool on Helaire. I really am. As good as he was last year, he didn't live up to his draft value as a running back 1, which is where people were taking him. I don't know. We have him at 13. Do we think he's 13?
I mean, I think yes, only because of the team he's on. You know, as you being a Chiefs fan, they're a very powerful offense. So that I think that already automatically boosts him up. If he was on the Bears, probably not.
Okay. 14th, we've got Najee Harris. Why? Because I ranked him at the top 10 because all I hear about is this kid. All I hear about is Najee Harris. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. That's honestly where I'm at. 15, we got J.K. Dobbins. Why? Because Craig and Sean are both big J.K. Dobbins truthers. Why is Dobbins going to have the big year this year?
For me, I still think Lamar, like say if a play gets broken up, Lamar is going to check down to him if he doesn't take off running. So I think that automatically adds value to Dobbins' fantasy value.
Makes sense. Number 16, we have David Montgomery. Ironically enough, Craig is the only one that seems to think Montgomery is anywhere near an RB1. Sean, who is a Bears fan, has him at 18th overall, which is just hysterical to me. So, number 17, we have Mike Davis. The reason we have Mike Davis this high is Craig and Cinch are both big on him. My God, we are going to spend an hour at the round table on running backs.
We are.
Because you're all
at least
insane. You're all insane. Cinch will not stop talking about Mike Davis. Did I draft him in the Scott Fishbowl just to make him quiet?
I think you did. And I think we needed a running back anyway, so.
He was our third running back. I took him at RB23. He was the 23rd running back off the board in the Scott Fishbowl. We have him at 17. You're all insane. All right, moving on. Chris Carson at 18. Why?
That's all Sean.
That's all Sean's fault. Sean, you listen to 6 episodes a year. I know, because every time you listen to an episode, you send us notes, and you only send us notes 6 times a year. Chris Carson is not going to be a potential RB1 this year. I just don't see it.
No. I don't see it either.
DeAndre Swift at 19. Why? Because I'm big on DeAndre Swift. I think DeAndre Swift could be an RB1. I'm not calling him. I have him ranked 13th on my personal rankings. I don't think he is an RB1. I think he could be an RB1. So I'm gonna take a risk on him. Then rounding out our top 20 is Josh Jacobs, who everyone forgot still plays football.
Oh, sad.
So let's recap our 11 through 20 right now.
All
It's
right.
Mixon, Gibson, Edwards-Helaire, Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins, then David Montgomery at 16, Mike Davis at 17, Carson at 18, then Swift and Jacobs. Craig, take Joe Mixon off the board because I know that's your answer.
Okay.
Which one of these guys do you want as your RB2?
I am gonna go with Dobbins
Over Hilaire.
over Hilaire. Yes.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
How about you?
I mean, that's interesting to me because you have Davis and Montgomery ranked above Dobbins. Are you warming up to more than Dobbins, or you're just saying you reach for that strong upside?
It's more. Yeah, no, I would say it's more the upside. My second choice would be Mike Davis, but again, we're talking about fantasy value, so I'm just equating receptions in for Dobbins. So
If I'm going to reach, it's going to be Harris or Mixon. I don't know which one I would take right now. I think we got to see how the camps shake out. But Najee Harris is kind of again, I'll be honest with you. Just being completely honest with all of you listening, I have not seen anything from this kid. Everyone's
me either.
talking about him. I listen to all the experts. I listen to the freaking Sirius XM all the goddamn time. I'm in the ACI alumni league that John Hansen runs. Well, he doesn't run the league, but it's the league that he runs that inspires this league. I am talking to people constantly about fantasy football, and all I keep hearing is Najee Harris is going to be the guy this year. Are people blowing smoke up my Yahoo? Maybe.
possible.
Maybe. But I think it's worth looking at. All right, let's finish out our rankings really quick because believe it or not, we're out of time.
Sad.
Number 21, Myles Gaskin. Why? Craig?
Because I think they're going to rely on Gaskin more than they did last year.
But they're still Dolphins.
They are still Dolphins. Yes, I know.
There's still a team that runs out there on offense every set of plays and goes, which way are we heading? I mean, seriously. I mean, it's hard to remember that this is the team that Dan Marino played for.
Remember that? Went to the Super Bowl his rookie year. Mm-hmm.
Flipper Wilson. I mean, guys like that played for this team. It's hard to remember. Larry Zonka.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yep.
All right, number 22 is Miles Sanders. Why? Craig?
Because to me, he's really the only thing the Eagles have.
So now so Craig's rankings seem to be based on a combination of it's guys who I don't think will get injured,
Yes.
followed by guys who I think have an opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
followed by teams that have nothing else.
Yes.
Is essentially the three tiers that you rank your guys on, is what I'm saying.
You know what? You're pretty much right. Yes.
I don't have
will
to be
agree with
100%
that.
right on that, but it feels like that's the thought process. Okay, here are guys are top tier that I don't think will die on week 5.
Yep.
Here are guys who, as long as they don't die, will be great. And here's the third tier is just, I'm going to rank up everybody where there's no other option. It's this guy or a sack of potatoes.
Well, I mean, look at Miles Sanders and Miles Gaskin. That's pretty much what they are.
Yes. Okay. We have Javonte Williams at 23. I don't know why. I think I have him at the end of my list. I think Sean does too. We'll make Sean answer for that. Number 24, we have James Robinson from Jacksonville. Why? You're going to have to ask Cinch. Cinch is the only person who ranked him, and it snuck him into our top 25. Number 25, Kareem Hunt. Same issue. Cinch is the only one who ranked him in the top 25. 26 is A.J. Dillon. Craig's the only one who ranked him. Why are we talking about A.J. Dillon?
So, excuse me. I was a big fan of A.J. Dillon in college. I think he has a lot of potential. And right now, the Packers are in a giant flux. So I think A.J. Dillon will get some reps to show what he can do.
And you think even with the presence of Aaron Jones, he gets enough reps to be viable as a
I
flex
think if
slash
you draft
RB3?
Aaron Jones, you have to draft A.J. Dillon. I don't think you have a choice.
Wow. All right, so there you go. There's Craig's takeaway. Handcuff required.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I
Yep.
follow your logic. Number 27, we have Raheem Mostert because Cinch seems to think this will be the one year that he doesn't break himself. We've got Travis Etienne at number 28. I put him on the top 25, and for the life of you, honestly, I'm just gonna be brutally honest. I don't remember.
You don't remember why
I
you did. You just
Yeah,
did.
I don't remember why. I
Fair.
was like, that guy.
Fair.
He's not. I've got him at 24 overall personally, and we've got him at 28 on the consensus. And this is, by the way, this Kareem Hunt through pick 32 are all the same guy, according to the consensus rankings. Just so you
Right.
know.
Mm-hmm.
We have Chase Edmonds at number 29, Kenyon Drake at number 32. No, that's number 30. Sorry, number 30. Damian Harris at number 31 because someone ranked him. Cinch. Oh my god. And then we have Tariq Cohen rounding out the top 32 on our line. Okay, so I'm going to run the whole list really quickly in a second, but Craig, desperation time. We have, what is this, 3, 6, 9 guys that all have the same composite score.
Yep.
That just means one of us ranked him, and everybody else was like, nah, man, pass. Those 9 guys are James Robinson, Kareem Hunt, A.J. Dillon, Raheem Mostert, Travis Etienne, Chase Edmonds, Kenyon Drake, Damian Harris, and Tariq Cohen. Same question from before. You're in a situation where you got to take one for your flex slash RB3.
All right.
Which one are you grabbing?
So if I don't have Jones, I'm not going to look at Dillon, but I will look at Drake because the Raiders didn't pay him $11 million to sit on the bench.
But Josh Jacobs, you really think he's going to supplant the carries from Jacobs?
I think enough. Like I don't think Kenyon Drake's going to take his job unless he gets hurt, but I think he's going to be on the field enough to help out your team. Again, my reasoning is they didn't pay him that much money to receive punts.
Yes, they did. And that's where you're wrong on this. Not with your analysis, but assuming that the Raiders have any sort of clue of what they're doing.
Yeah, well, okay, that's a separate topic, but yes, I agree with that.
But it ties into this decision making. It ties into this decision making. If nothing else, I'm drawing a complete blank on his goddamn name, the coach, Chucky. The hell is his name? Little annoying guy. Oh my god. Why am I drawing a blank on the coach of the Raiders?
I don't know. I'll give you a second to think about.
I just know everybody calls him Chucky because he looks like a fucking walking Chucky doll.
His first name is John.
Gruden.
There you go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Gruden, if nothing else, has this amazing power to convince people of what he sees in players. I've mentioned it before. The Bleacher Report, the Gridiron Heights, where he played the used car salesman. They spelled car with 2 R's. Yep. That's really what he is. He walks into a room with the decision makers and goes, do you know who you need to get? You need to go out and get Kenyon Drake. Let me tell you why. He's got 3 bad knees, but the guy scores touchdowns. Look at the number of times he touched the ball inside the 5 and the number of touchdowns. That's right. It's the same number, 6. 6. Every time he touched the ball last year inside the 5, he scored a touchdown. Now, they only gave it to him 6 times because he's made of paper. But those 6 times, those were touchdowns. Those are 6 touchdowns the Raiders can use. I'm going to go get something to drink. And he leaves. And the next thing you know, Kenyon Drake's on the goddamn roster for $11 million a year. This is what he does. The problem is he has never been right, ever. Well, he's got a Super Bowl with a team that was governed by defense. Let me remind you, that Tampa Bay team that won the Super Bowl under Gruden, the quarterback was Trent Dilfer.
Oh,
Name another member of that offense. Go.
Damn it.
Exactly. Exactly. But that defense, Warren Sapp was there. Was Hardy still there? Was Hardy Nickerson still there?
I don't know if he was still there.
He might not have been. but what's his name's twin brother, Rondé Barber, was there. I
Yep.
can oh god, the guy who played safety, he's in the Hall of Fame. Jesus, why am I drawing a blank on this guy's name? I need another beer. But I can name like 3 or 4 guys on the defense. I can't name a single person on the offense other than frickin' Trent Dilfer. But Gruden's a genius. He's not. There is and I was big on Kenyon Drake last year.
You
This is
were.
coming from a guy who, if I pull up the 2019 rankings, I had him in the top 10 last year. I guarantee it. I guarantee I was saying he's gonna make a fresh start in Arizona. I guarantee I said something like that last year. He is not gonna matter in LA. He's not. Does that mean he's not draftable? No, but I don't think he's top 24. I don't think we have him at 30. I don't think he's going to be viable as an RB3. He's a late round flyer in my book. All right, let's run the list. Let's run the list really quickly.
Let's do it.
All right, so going from top, we have, and ignore Craig because Craig's rankings are Craig's rankings. And while they compute into this, they are wackadoodle. They are nutsy cuckoo. And he's probably going to be right. And if he does, we'll apologize to him during the offseason. But we've got
fair.
Christian McCaffrey at 1. Dalvin Cook at 2, Derrick Henry at 3, Alvin Kamara at 4, Jonathan Taylor at 5, Saquon Barkley at 6, Zeke at 7, and Aaron Jones at 8. The ghost of Cam Akers used to occupy spot 9. That now belongs to Austin Eckler. Number 10 is Nick Chubb. Number 11 is Joe Mixon. Number 12 is Antonio Gibson. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, then Najee Harris, and J.K. Dobbins rounds out the top 15. 16 is David Montgomery. 17 is Mike Davis. 18 is Chris Carson, followed by DeAndre Swift. Why? Because I said so, damn it. Number 20 is Josh Jacobs. Number 21 is Myles Gaskin, and the only person who owns a Myles Gaskin t-shirt, Craig, thinks so. Number 22 is Miles Sanders. Number 23 is Javonte Williams. 24 is James Robinson. 25 is Kareem Hunt. A.J. Dillon comes in at 26. Raheem Mostert comes in at number 27. Travis Etienne comes in at number 28, and no one can remember why because I'm the only one who ranked him, and I don't remember why I ranked him there. I'm just being honest. Number 29 is Chase Edmonds, who I wasn't even sure was still in the league before now. Number 30 is Kenyon Drake. 31 is Damien Harris, and 32 is Tariq Cohen, courtesy of Craig. That is all 32 of the guys we have ranked. You'll notice Darrell Henderson isn't on this list because when we made this list about a week ago, Darrell Henderson was not a starter. Craig, my final question for you, you see the screen up in front of you, right? I've got 11 through 32 in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Without altering your rankings anywhere, you just had to pick a spot and insert Darrell Henderson into this. Where would you put him right now?
Let's see. Let me read this really quick. I would put him probably at 21.
So between Josh Jacobs and Myles Gaskin.
Yes.
Okay, I have him a little higher than that. I have him between Mike Davis and Chris Carson. I would have him at number 18 overall. Now, again, there's rumors that the Rams are shopping. There's rumors that the Steelers are standing outside with a sign that says Benny Snell for sale, which sounds really terrible. They shouldn't say that. No one's
it
ever.
does,
No
but
in
this context, it makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, I think he's and tomorrow the Rams could make a trade and all of this is moot. But I think he's probably an RB2. Craig would have him at the lower end of RB2/RB3. So, Craig, we are way over time because we've had such a good time making fun of your picks, which is okay because Craig will sit there and laugh like a supervillain during the round table as everyone else has to defend their picks and he doesn't have to worry about defending his because he's already done it.
That's true. That is very true.
Final thought time, Craig. What do you got for me?
Final thoughts, just like you said in the beginning, like these our ranking episodes are probably the most fun episodes, I think. And I think the roundtable ones will be even more fun.
Oh, those will be even insaner. That's like 3 weeks away.
Yeah, but just like I said last week, definitely start paying attention. Then you don't have to go overboard like Sean and do mock drafts literally all day, but do some mock drafts. Just get used to seeing who people are taking when. You might be surprised to see how early some people go. It's great practice, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where I'm at now. It's mock draft season, guys. Time to get online and start looking at your drafts. Time to start looking at renewing your leagues. And your formats will depend on what you do. But obviously, it is time to get to work. So redraft leagues, I highly recommend starting to run some mocks. There's a lot. Most likely, the site that you use is going to have a mock draft tool. I recommend using it. If it doesn't, go to Fantasy Pros. They have a fantastic mock simulator where you can actually say, I want to draft against an ADP. And it'll allow you to select different ADPs and different draft positions. It's a great way to warm up. So leave us a review wherever you listen to us. If you're on Apple, we are now available on Audible. We just found that out this week, or I really recognize it. Craig's been screaming about it for a while. Wherever you listen to us, please leave us a review. Reach out to us. We are at FignutsDFS on Twitter. We are FignutsDFS@gmail.com. We are also the Football Fignuts Podcast on Facebook. Wherever you listen to us, leave us a review. However you wish to reach out, communicate with us. We love to hear from folks. Please do so. We'll be back next week. Next week, can we do wide receivers next week? I don't know if I'll be recovered. We might have to skip wide receivers for a week and do the tight end kicker defense spectacular just to give me some off time.
That's true,
we'll
because there's a lot of receivers. So
that's a thing. I mean, I haven't even looked. How many receivers do we have ranked? Hold on, we can do that on the fly. Oh, we only have 30 ranked. Okay, that's why. I still have the source in here, and he was not able to provide us rankings this year, but that's beside the point. So, but we'll be back next week with more rankings and more preparation for the start of the season. Thank you so much for joining us. Hi to Deb. Deb moved this week, so I don't even know if she'll have time to listen to us. She might be listening to us while she paints her new house.
Maybe.
So, I hope so. I saw the place on Saturday. Very nice. Very nice. We're going to be very comfortable there playing board games, I'll tell you that, once life calms down. So, until next week, folks, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate every one of you. Please reach out as I indicated. But until we speak next, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast.